the passion that ignites the sound and the joy of music all around. For every note your students play, let the learning lead the way. It's the Music Educator Podcast. The Music Educator Podcast.
Welcome to the Music Educator Podcast. I'm your host, Bill Stevens, and this is Season 7, Episode 18, the 10-Minute Reset, How Music Teachers Save a Rehearsal That's Falling Apart. Every music teacher knows this moment. The rehearsal starts fine. Students come in, instruments come out, folders open, and you think, okay, we might actually get some good work in today. And then slowly, things start to shift. The room gets louder, the sounds get rougher, and the tempo starts wobbling. A few students stop fully participating. Someone misses an entrance. Someone else plays over the release. The low voices disappear. The upper voices start getting harsh. And the percussion section suddenly has 3 different versions of the same rhythm. And before you know it, you're standing in front of an ensemble thinking, this rehearsal is really starting to fall apart. Now, in that moment, the temptation is to talk more, correct more, explain more, maybe even lecture a little. But most of the time, when a rehearsal is falling apart, students do not need a longer explanation. They need a reset. So in today's short episode, we're going to talk about a simple 3-part reset that can help you save a rehearsal before it completely slips away. Reset the room, reset the sound, and reset the goal. That's it. 3 moves, no drama, no long speech. Just a practical way to bring the ensemble back to focus, back to sound, and back to one clear musical target. Here's the thing about rehearsals falling apart. It usually does not happen all at once. It happens in layers. First, maybe the room energy is just a little too high, and students are not being terrible. They're just not fully locked in. Then, the musical quality starts to slip. Tone gets spread, releases get sloppy, and rhythms lose precision. Students begin reacting to each other instead of listening across the ensemble. Then, the teacher starts correcting more often, and this is where the cycle can get tricky. Because the more we correct, the more fragmented the rehearsal can become. We stop for the clarinets, then we stop for the trumpets, then we stop for the percussion, then we stop because someone missed the key signature, then we stop because the ensemble did not watch the cutoff. And before long, students are not really rehearsing anymore. They are just waiting for the next correction. That is when focus drops even more. Not because students do not care, but also not because they are being disrespectful. Sometimes it is because the rehearsal has lost its center. There is no longer one clear sound, one clear task, or one clear reason to keep pushing. And when that happens, the teacher does not need to win a power struggle. The teacher needs to reestablish clarity. That is the heart of the 10-minute reset. You are not abandoning the rehearsal plan. You are not lowering expectations. You are simply pausing long enough to help the ensemble find its way back. And the first place to start is not with the music, it's with the room. Reset step 1. Reset the room. Now, the first step is to reset the room, not with a lecture, not with frustration, not with, guys, come on, we have a concert coming up. Just a clean, calm reset. Because when the room starts to unravel, the teacher's energy becomes the anchor. If we get louder, faster, or more irritated, the room usually follows us there. But if we get calm, clear, and specific, we give students something to return to. So instead of saying, everybody needs to focus, try something more concrete like freeze, instruments down, eyes here. Then pause. Let the silence do some of the work. After that, give them one physical action. Sit tall. Feet flat, instrument resting position. Take one silent breath with me. The key is that every direction should be observable. You should be able to look at the room and know immediately whether students did it. Focus is hard to measure. Instruments down is easy to measure. Pay attention is vague, whereas eyes here is clear. This matters because when students are unfocused, vague directions often create more noise. Clear directions reduce decision making. And here is the important part. Keep it short. A reset is not a speech. It is a bridge back to learning. Sometimes the whole thing can be done in 10 seconds. Freeze. Instruments down. Eyes here. Sit tall. Silent breath. Good. Let's reset. That small moment tells the students we are not spiraling. We are coming back. And once the room is back, even for just a few seconds, you have enough attention to move to the next part. Now you can reset the sound. Reset step 2, reset the sound. The second step is to reset the sound. This is where a lot of rehearsals can be saved. Because once the room is quiet, the temptation is to jump right back into the problem spot. But if the ensemble sound is already tense, scattered, or unfocused, going straight back to the music may just recreate the same problem. So, before returning to the piece, give students one simple sound task. Not a hard one, not a long one, just something the ensemble can do successfully and immediately. For band or orchestra, that might be one concert pitch. For choir, it might be one vowel shape or comfortable pitch. For guitar, it may be one open string rhythm together. For general music, it might be one 4-beat body percussion pattern. The point is not to impress anyone. The point is to remind the class what together feels like. You might say, before we go back, I want one beautiful concert F. 4 counts only. Listen for the center of the sound. Or, let's reset with one measure on air. No instruments yet, just rhythm and breath. Or, everybody play beat 1 together, then freeze the release. That sound reset does something powerful. It gets students listening again. It takes the focus off the mistake and puts it back on ensemble awareness. For middle school groups especially, I like to reset sound before resetting the music, because often the issue is not just the notes. It is the air, it's the posture and the listening, the balance, or even the sense of pulse underneath the notes. And once the class hears one clean entrance, one unified pitch, one controlled release, or one steady rhythm, the room changes. Students feel success again. Now you have momentum. And once you have momentum, you can move to the final part of the reset. You can reset the goal. Reset step 3. Reset the goal. The third step is to reset the goal. This is where we have to be careful as music teachers because we can hear everything. We hear the rhythm problem. We hear the intonation problem. We hear the trumpet tones spreading. We hear the low voices disappearing. We hear the percussion balance. We hear the articulation getting muddy. We hear the releases falling apart. And because we hear all of it, we sometimes try to fix all of it at the same time. But when a rehearsal is already shaky, too many corrections can overload students. So instead of saying, watch the rhythm, fix the articulation, listen for balance, support your sound, and do not rush, try narrowing the target. Give the ensemble one job. For example, our only goal right now is a clean release in measure 24. Our only goal is to make the melody first and the harmony softer. Or, our only goal is to play that rhythm together without speeding up. One goal gives students a clear path back to success. And here's the key. Make the goal small enough that they can actually achieve it within the next 30 seconds. Not by the concert, not by next week, right now. In this room, on this next rep. That quick win matters. Because a falling apart rehearsal often has a confidence problem hiding underneath it. The students are not just unfocused. Sometimes they are unsure. Sometimes they are overwhelmed. Sometimes they have heard so many corrections that they no longer know what matters most. So you give them one clear target. They try it. They improve it. You name the improvement. And suddenly, the rehearsal has direction again. That is the reset. Reset the room, reset the sound, reset the goal. Now, the ensemble is no longer spinning. They know what to do next. Putting the reset together in real time. So let's put the whole reset together. Imagine your ensemble is working on a section of music and it starts falling apart. The tempo is unstable, the sound is getting rough, students are missing entrances, and the room energy is starting to climb. Instead of pushing through, you pause. You reset the room. Freeze. Instruments down. Eyes here. Sit tall. Take one silent breath with me. Then you reset the sound. Before we go back to the music, let's play one concert F together. 4 counts, soft, steady, and centered. They play. You listen. Then you give one quick piece of feedback. That was better because the sound started together. Now let's carry that same calm sound into measure 17. Then you reset the goal. Our only goal is measure 17 into 18. Clean entrance, steady tempo, and full note values. That's it. Now you run the short section. Not the whole piece, not the entire page, just the target. And when they improve, even a little, you name it. That was the reset. The entrance was cleaner, the tempo was steadier, and the sound had more control. That moment matters because students need to know what success feels like. They need to hear when the group comes back together. And they need to understand that a rehearsal falling apart does not mean the class has failed. It means the ensemble needs leadership. Calm leadership. Clear leadership. Musical leadership. The 10-minute reset is not about lowering expectations. It is about creating a path back to the expectations. So here's the takeaway. The next time a rehearsal starts falling apart, don't panic and don't preach. Pause long enough to reset. Reset the room so students are physically and mentally ready to listen. Reset the sound so the ensemble remembers what together feels like. And reset the goal so students know exactly what success looks like and sounds like on the next repetition. That is the 10-minute reset. And the best part is you do not have to wait until a rehearsal completely crashes to use it. You can use it when the energy starts drifting. You can use it when the tone quality starts spreading. You can use it when students are trying, but the music is getting messier instead of clearer. Sometimes great teaching is not about adding more information. Sometimes it is about removing the noise, narrowing the target, and helping students find one clear win. Thank you for listening to the Music Educator Podcast. I'm your host, Bill Stevens, and this has been Season 7, Episode 18, the 10-Minute Reset, How Music Teachers Save a Rehearsal That Is Falling Apart. For more music education resources, podcast episodes, and practical teaching ideas, visit themusiceducator.com. And as always, keep teaching, keep growing, and keep making music with purpose.